Hi, this is Manoj
This is Aparna.
and welcome to Laos. We are at the Wat Phu in Vientiane, the capital of Laos.
We will come back to the temple in a bit. That's where Laos is located on the globe. It's the only landlocked country in entire Southeast Asia, and that's where the capital Vientiane is located in Laos. Vientiane was a small city-state during the Dwaravati period, that's around 6th century AD. It later became part of the Khmer Empire. The city grew in importance when one King Setthathirath made it the new capital of his kingdom in 1563. The previous capital was Luang Prabang, and the change was prompted to mitigate the risk of Burmese invasion. Now back to the temple. This is Wat Si Saket in Vientiane. It was built in 1818 by the King Anuvong. It was modelled and named after the Wat Saket in Bangkok. At this time, Lao was a vassal of the Kingdom of Siam. A decade later, this King Anuvong revolted and the Siamese retaliated and brutally subdued the revolt. This resulted in the sack of Vientiane in 1827, where the city was literally razed to the ground. This Wat Si Saket was the only building to survive the destruction, thanks to it being used as a makeshift military headquarters by the Siamese. Wat Si Saket is hence the oldest surviving temple in Vientiane.
When King Setthathirath shifted the capital to Vientiane in 1563, he needed a new home for the Emerald Buddha. His kingdom, Lan Shang, was the custodian of this famous Buddha image. The king built this temple, Ha Phra Kiao, to house the statue. This temple, of course, was destroyed by the 1827 sack, and what you see now is a reconstruction. In an earlier attack in 1779, Siamese took the statue to Thailand. Today, if you visit Bangkok, you can see the Emerald Buddha housed in the Wat Phra Kiao inside the Royal Palace complex. But for 218 years, between 1564 to 1779, this temple was its home. We ended the day at the city pillar. This building houses the pillar, which is considered to be the city's guardian spirit. The original building, of course, was destroyed in 1827, and the building that you see was rebuilt in 1915. This is our hotel room in Vientiane. Pretty basic, but functional. Nice room. And this is the toilet. Clean and big. Thai food is widely available all over Laos. This is the dinner in our hotel for the first night. That is pad thai. And that's red curry with the famous Lao sticky rice. Good morning. Day 2 in Laos. We are going for the breakfast in our hotel. Salad, egg fried rice, and some boiled vegetables. Sunny side up, fruits, and cereal. We hired a car for the forenoon to visit the 3 main sites in and around Vientiane. The first one was the Buddha Park, located 25 kilometers, about 1 hour drive southeast of Vientiane. The park and its magnificent sculptures were created by one priest shaman, Luang Phu Bunlewa Sulilat, in 1958. He merged aspects of Hinduism and Buddhism in its construction. Statues of Hindu pantheon can be found nestled between Thai-style Buddha sculptures. If you didn't know their age, you would have guessed these ornate sculptures are centuries old and belong to some long-lost kingdom. But they are in fact just half a century old and made of reinforced concrete. Get here early in the morning to beat the tour groups. Next, Wat Phu Luang, which has the opposite visual effect. This looks ultra-modern, but is in fact centuries old. In its core stands a 3rd century BC stupa. That's when the missionaries of Ashoka arrived with the breastbone of Buddha to spread the religion. The stupa was constructed to house the relic. Hardly anything survives from that bygone era. Most of what you see today is from the 16th century reconstruction. This gold-plated resplendent stupa is one of the iconic images of Laos. Final stop of the morning, Pathu She. Its name means victory gate. Pathu is gate in Lao, and She is from Sanskrit Jaya, which means victory. It was built between 1957 and 1968 and is dedicated to those who fought for independence from France. The monument was built using American funds and cement actually intended to build a new airport.
and hence the nickname Vertical Runway. You can climb all the way to the top for some fantastic views. The central cloister vault at the ground level is decorated with depictions of Hindu gods Vishnu, Brahma and Indra. Pakse is a fantastic monument. Although inspired by the Arc de Triomphe, its architecture has a distinct Lao touch. In the afternoon, we flew to Pakse. Pakse is the capital and the largest city of the southern province, Champasak. We didn't do much other than check into our hotel this evening.
This is our hotel room in Pakse. Pretty small, but it's very clean, quite clean. And the toilet is microscopic as well, but clean.
The prime attraction of the hotel is its rooftop restaurant. It offers a fantastic view of the city, but the food was terrible. Everything we tried was either too salty or utterly tasteless. Thankfully, there was a nice fruit market nearby, and that helped us get through the night.
Good morning, day 3 in Laos. We are in Pakse. We are renting a car and heading to one of the 3 World Heritage Sites in Laos.
And that World Heritage Site is Wat Phu Champasak, and it is located about an hour south of Pakse. This place was a religious site going back to at least the 5th century AD. At that time, this area was part of the Chenla and later Champa kingdoms. But almost all of what you see today is from the later Khmer era. They were constructed primarily during the Khmer and Baphuon periods. That's around 11th century AD. Wat Phu started off as a Hindu temple and later converted to a Theravada Buddhist shrine.
For lunch, we have stopped by a restaurant in Champasak city, right by the mighty Mekong. That's the Mekong, the 3rd longest river in Asia after Huanghe and Yangtze.
So we've been eating Thai food mostly. So today we got sticky rice and steamed vegetables, and we are using our podi with it. So far the food has been good.
On our drive back to Pakse, we stopped by the Wat Phu Salau, a brand new temple complex just over a decade old, completed in 2011. The giant meditating Buddha of this temple has now become the iconic image of Pakse. This is the view that the Buddha enjoys, and the bridge across the Mekong was funded by the Japanese and is hence called the Lao Nippon Bridge. Behind the giant Buddha is an array of smaller Buddha sculptures. Supremely photogenic. Wonderful temple. And finally, that's how we were commuting inside the Pakse city.
Good morning, day 4 in Laos. We are still in Pakse. We are renting a car today and heading to the Bolaven Plateau. That is considered to be the prettiest little corner in Laos. It's pretty during monsoons. Now we are in the peak of dry season. Let's see how things are.
I need not have fretted. Even during the peak dry season, the Bolaven Plateau is blessed with lush greenery and roaring waterfalls. The main falls are located an hour east of Pakse. A typical itinerary involves visiting Wat Phu in the morning and the falls in the afternoon. We thought that would be too tiring and decided to split the events on 2 separate days. Although that helped us enjoy the falls during the cool morning hours and avoid the crowd completely, the downside was that all these falls faced west. So we had to constantly peer into the glaring sun, and we could barely make out the silhouette of the falls in some cases. So if you want good footage, come here in the afternoon.
For lunch, we stopped by a dhaba. We are ordering the same food as yesterday, so we aren't showing it. But the dhaba looks very nice. Very well done. The nice food as well.
We caught the early afternoon flight back to Vientiane, and that gave us just enough time to check out the last couple of sites on our list. The first was Wat Phu, which houses the largest bronze Buddha in Vientiane. And the second was Tat Dam, whose name means black stupa in Lao. We don't really know why the stupa is black. The popular legend blames the Siamese, who is believed to have stripped the stupa of its gold covering. but most historians believe the stupa was this way since its inception in the 16th century.
Good morning, day 5 in Laos. We are in Vientiane, the capital, and today we start the 3-day road trip across central Laos. Our first stop will be Vang Vieng. Vang Vieng is the adventure capital of Laos. It is famous for its water sports activities and the views of the rolling hills and the verdant valleys.
Not long ago, Vang Vieng used to be notorious for its rave parties and drug abuse. In 2012, the Lao government cracked down on all the illegal activities. The city then transformed itself into an adventure tourism hub. Vang Vieng is located on the banks of the pretty Nam Song River and nestled between vertiginous karst formation. Hence ideal for kayaking, rafting, tubing, paragliding, rock climbing, etc. But even if you are not into these activities, Vang Vieng has got you covered as well. These limestone hills are home to some wonderful caves. We visited a couple, Tham Jang and Tham Phu Kam. The sight of a sleeping Buddha in a monumental cavern in Tham Phu Kam was simply spectacular. But the literal and figurative high point of the day was the Nam She viewpoint. A very strenuous clamber up a hill brought us to the best viewpoint in the country. What a view it was, breathtaking. Well worth the effort to get there, many times over. Someone seemed to have hauled a couple of motorbikes all the way to the top, and we spent half an hour in queue for this perfect Instagram shot. That's our hotel in Vang Vieng, the Silver Naga. Centrally located right by the river, the night market is just outside. This is our hotel room in Vang Vieng, a high-end resort, Silver Naga. Very spacious room, very nice room. And that's the view from our room.
Good morning, day 6 in Laos. We got up very early, around 3 a.m. and started our drive to Phongsavan by 4 a.m. It's a very long drive. It's 300 kilometers, but it takes 8 or 9 hours because the road is very bad. What you see behind me is one of the few decent portions. The scenery is spectacular. Hopefully we'll get there by noon or 1 p.m. and get to see the important sight of the day. That's the van we have hired for the trip. There are very few taxis here. The tourists are very few. They are mostly hitchhikers or they travel in small groups, so the vans are the best way of transport. And he is our driver, very nice driver. I recommend the travel agency. I'll put their contact in the description. For lunch we stopped by a traditional Lao dhaba. Quite traditional. They only serve noodle soup. And that's the dhaba. Our first authentic Lao dish, vegetable soup.
Yes, the food was good. Actually, we didn't have any food since morning, so this was a saving grace. Very tasty.
First stop, Muang Quan. It lies 1 hour southeast of Phonsavan. It was the capital of a little-known 16th century kingdom of Kuang. Once famous for its temples and stupas, it was ravaged over time by Chinese and Siamese invasions and flattened by the bombing during the Vietnam War. Now all that remains are a weather-exposed solitary Buddha statue of Wat Phu and the imposing 1576 That Phuan. Everything we have seen so far on the trip is some version of what's there in rest of Southeast Asia. That's all about to change at our next destination. But first, a note from Aparna.
The skirt I'm wearing today was bought in Pakse. The main city hall in Pakse was filled with clothes shop selling a lot of pretty dresses. I bought this one for about $8.
This is the Plain of Jars, the second of the 3 World Heritage Sites of Laos that we have visited so far. This is as unique as it gets. The entire Vientiane-VangVieng Plateau is littered with these giant megalithic stone jars. Dating from about 1000 BC, these mysterious jars have puzzled the historians, and the best they could say about them is that these were likely used for burials. The largest concentration of these jars are located around the town of Phonsavan. Plain of Jars was also the epicenter of American bombing during the Secret War. Between 1964 and 1969, US dumped 2 million tons of bombs here, making Laos the most bombed country on the planet. and they managed to keep it as a secret for well over 3 decades. Even today, many of these unexploded bombs cause loss of lives and limb to the community living here. The only things as abundant in this region as the jars are the holes left by the relentless carpet bombing, a sad reminder of the destruction caused by the war.
This is our room in Phongsavan, a bread and breakfast. A very nice place. It's a very big bungalow converted into a room. Nice cozy room. This is the lobby of the bread and breakfast. Good morning, day 7 in Laos. We have a very long drive to Luang Prabang from Phongsavan. 8 hours drive with just one stop.
And that one stop alluded to is this Nong Tang Lake. The roads kept getting worse while the scenery kept getting better. This is my 26th country and Aparna's 21st, and we would put Laos as the prettiest we have seen so far, especially along this route that connects Phonsavan and Luang Prabang. Pictures, especially mine, do no justice to this amazing place. Well, my pictures don't do justice to the roads either. They were far worse than this. At one point, we got stuck in a pothole, too close to the edge to back up, and at the same time, the wheels had no traction to move forward. In Laos, everyone stops to help. This lorry tried in vain to pull us out, only to break its rope. Finally, all the able-bodied men from a public van got down and pushed us out, and we were on our way. Well, only to be stopped by a toppled cement lorry. We had to wait an hour for this to clear up. In the end, we finally managed to reach Luang Prabang by dinner. We had the same Thai curry, but this time with a fantastic view of a Mekong sunset.
That's our hotel in Luang Prabang. It's an old French colonial building converted into a boutique hotel. Most hotels in the downtown are like this, the old colonial buildings converted into hotels. This is our room in Luang Prabang. That's the bed, and that's the shower area, which doesn't have a door, and that's the wash basin and the toilet.
And that's the view of the night market from our balcony.
Good morning, day 8 in Laos. Here is where the night market was last night, and it is completely deserted now. Today we are hiring a car and visiting a couple of sites close to Luang Prabang. Tomorrow we'll see the city of Luang Prabang. We are off to Pak O caves first and a waterfall next.
Our hotel had a sumptuous breakfast. That's mine. Ignore the bacon, we got that removed. And that's Aparna's breakfast. You can take a boat all the way to Pak O caves from Luang Prabang, and that would make it a long day trip. Or you can get there in 1 hour by taxi. But you still have to take a boat across a river to the caves. The river, of course, is the Mekong. There are 2 caves here, Tam Ting, the lower cave, and Tam Tung, the upper cave. Pardon my Lao, I probably said those things wrong. The caves are noted for their miniature Buddha sculptures. The lower cave is filled wall to wall with these sculptures neatly arranged in rows. And upper cave has larger statues and a gold-plated stupa. The place, especially the lower cave, is simply stunning. We arrived here by 8:30 am, which helped us beat the large tour groups. Having the place all to ourselves was just priceless. The Kuang Falls was the next stop. It lies 1 hour on the other side of Luang Prabang, hence a couple of hours from Pak O. On travel, you can only beat the crowd in one site per day. Since we used that trump card in Pak O, we had to contend with everyone being in the water by the time we arrived. Kuang is a multi-tiered falls, and the swimming is allowed only in the lower tiers. Thankfully, no one can video bomb your footage in the last tier, which, by the way, is the best falls we have ever seen in our lives. I repeat, the best ever. I feel completely inadequate to describe it. The visuals will hence remain as speechless as what we felt when we first saw it. A very slippery trail continues beyond the last tier for this view. Not worth risking fracture in my opinion. On the way to the falls, there are several resorts set among verdant paddy fields to attract the Instagram crowd, such as this one. If the weather happens to be nice, do stop by one.
There's a restaurant right by the falls, and we are trying the Laos style brinjal. Eggplant paste, yes. And the usual veg curry.
Yeah, the food was very good. The Bengan Bharta was very, very similar to our Bengan Bharta, but it lacked all the spices that we like, but close enough. So it was tasty. Enjoyed the meal.
The top I am wearing today was stitched from my mom's 6-yard sari. I made 2 tops and a skirt from that sari. The skirt I am wearing is called a sin. That is a traditional Lao skirt made from either silk or cotton. The one I am wearing today is a cotton one that I bought in Vientiane for $20.
We got back to Luang Prabang before sunset. The hill Aparna climbed is Phu Si. This 100-meter tall hill located in the heart of Luang Prabang is believed to have been placed here by the Hindu god Hanuman. The top can be reached by 300 odd steps, and it offers 360-degree views of the town and the best vantage point to enjoy the sunset. There are several small Buddhist shrines along the route to the top. Luang Prabang is located at the confluence of Nam Khan and Mekong rivers. The town of Luang Prabang is the third and last of the World Heritage Site of our trip. The entire town is a pleasure to walk around, supremely photogenic, and is one of the main reasons why we rated Laos as the prettiest country we have visited so far. Luang Prabang is famous for its culinary schools specializing in traditional Lao food. Most schools have a front-end restaurant where they serve signature creations. We decided to have dinner in one such place, Tamarind, one of the highly rated school-cum-restaurant in Laos. They had a traditional Lao vegan dinner set for 2, for just $25. Perfect.
That's the restaurant, and that's our table. Pre-appetizer was bamboo chips. This is the pumpkin soup. We have had better. Appetizer was fantastic. Make your own wrap. That's rice paste and eggplant paste. Finally, the main course. Fresh spring roll with peanut sauce, spicy green bean salad, and tofu lap. Lap is a traditional Lao dish usually made with chicken or pork. And of course, the famous Lao sticky rice. A quick demo of a stickiness. The world's most sticky rice, but quite delicious.
Yes, the food was very tasty. Actually, we have never eaten a 3-4 course meal. So it started out with an appetizer, then we had the main meal. Sorry, soup was first, then appetizer, then the main course, and then we had a dessert. Each one was very unique and very different. So it was a very nice experience and everything was very delicious.
Good morning. Day 9 in Laos, the last day of our trip. Well, there is one more day. Tomorrow we are just flying back. I don't think there's going to be any footage from tomorrow. Today we are in Luang Prabang and we are going to see the sights of the city. We saw a trailer last evening and today is going to be the rest of the city.
The top I am wearing today was bought in a roadside stall at the Tad Phan waterfall for about $8. The skirt I am wearing is the traditional Lao sin that I bought in Vientiane. This one is made of silk, which I had to tailor to my size. The cost, including stitching, was about $80.
Just like Vientiane, Luang Prabang started off as one of the city-states of the Dwaravati kingdom in the 6th century. It later became part of the Khmer Empire. In 1353, one Vang Vieng, the son-in-law of then Khmer Emperor, founded the independent Lan Xang kingdom with Luang Prabang as its capital. That became the longest ruling kingdom of Laos. In 1560, as mentioned earlier on day 1, King Sattatirat of the same Lan Xang kingdom moved the capital to Vientiane in the south. When the Lan Xang kingdom was founded, the Khmer Emperor presented Vang Vieng, the founder, with a Buddha sculpture which is housed in this temple inside the royal complex. The sculpture is believed to have been sculpted in Sri Lanka in the 1st century AD, but stylistically this dates back to the 7th century Khmer Empire. The statue is called Phra Bang, which got corrupted to Prabang, from which the town gets its present name. The royal complex was built in 1904 by King Sisavang Vong, but could only house 2 generations of its rulers. His son Sisavang Vatana was overthrown by the communists in 1975. Right across the street is a small Wat Phu. It houses some wonderful 19th century murals depicting historic scenes along the Mekong River. Right beside the royal palace is the Wat Mai, the largest wat in Luang Prabang. Built at the turn of the 18th century, this wat boasts one of the most resplendent facades in the entire country. Finally, the grandest and the most important of the 133 wats of Luang Prabang, Wat Sieng Tong. It was built in 1560 by King Setthathirath right before the capital was shifted to Vientiane. The central sim with its curvilinear roof is one of the iconic images of Laos. The rear gable is decorated with the famous glass mosaic depiction of the Tree of Life. The monastery complex also houses a 12-meter high funeral carriage and urns containing the ashes of the royal family. Luang Prabang was certainly the highlight of the trip. We were glad that we had kept it to the last. It's always great to finish on a high. Luang Prabang was simply amazing. If there is a prettier city in Southeast Asia, we are yet to see it. In December 2021, China helped build the first high-speed railway line in Laos. It connects Bhutan in the north with Vientiane in the south. It is the Laos section of the Kunming-Singapore Railway. There is a convenience stop in Luang Prabang. The train ran at a peak speed of 160 km per hour and covered the 300 odd kilometers in less than 2 hours.
That's it, folks. This ends our trip to Laos. Kop Chai Lai Lai for watching till the end. Now Aparna will run down through the top 10 sites of the trip.
So at number 10 is Wat Phu Champasak. At number 9, Patouche at Vientiane. And number 8, Pha That Luang at Vientiane. At number 7, Sian Kuan Buddha Park. At number 6, the waterfalls of Bolaven Plateau. At number 5, Plain of Jars. At number 4 would be the Nam She viewpoint in Vang Vieng. At number 3, the Royal Palace at Luang Prabang. And number 2 would be all the wats of Luang Prabang. And number 1 would be the Kuang Sea Falls of Luang Prabang.
Okay, what's your top experience of the trip, Aparna?
My best experience would be shopping. I really enjoyed shopping in this trip because wherever we were walking, there were plenty of options available and I could just see and buy whatever I want. It was very affordable. So shopping was my best experience.
For me, the best experience would be the dinner at Tamarind in Luang Prabang. We were able to taste the authentic Lao dish, of course veganized, and the multi-course meal there was just perfect. That's it, folks. Until we say hi from some other part of the world, Sabaidi.
Bye-bye.